Hello, it's Simon Zutshi here, and in this property education video, I'm going to answer the question, which is best investment, property or crypto? Now, obviously, I'm into property. You might think I'm going to be biased about property, but actually, when done correctly, I think you can make great returns when investing in crypto. However, you have to be very careful. Most crypto is never going to do anything, and unfortunately, most people who invest in crypto actually lose money. But let's compare the two and see which you think might be best for you. So first of all, let's talk about how much money do you need to get involved in property and how much money do you need to get involved in crypto. So one of the benefits of getting into crypto, you might think, is actually you don't need a lot of money to invest. And that's true. You can buy some cryptocurrency, it's not very expensive. And sometimes if you're lucky, and there isn't a big element of luck here rather than skill, sometimes it can go very big and you can make a great return. And I know people who say they made so much money in crypto, but actually, in order to get those occasional coins that do very, very well, they've also invested in lots of other things that have done nothing at all and very often lost money. So you don't need a huge amount of money to get into crypto. That's a big plus for that. However, when you invest in property, people think you need to have a big 25% deposit. You've got to go and get a mortgage, and people don't like getting into debt. Now, the thing about the mortgage is you don't have to pay it, because it's a rental property. You're going to put tenants in there that are not only going to cover the cost of the mortgage and all the other costs, it's going to give you cash flow every single month. And that's one of the big benefits of property, whereas crypto doesn't really give you cash flow. The point about crypto is really it's a speculation. You're investing in crypto with the hope that it's going to go up and you can sell and cash out before it crashes down again. Whereas when you're investing in property, we're actually getting an income from it every single month as long as you learn how to do it correctly, and we're benefiting in the long-term capital growth. Now, on paper, you might not get as much growth in property than you could in a particular cryptocurrency, but when you look at the average cryptocurrency, you know, a lot of them don't do well. So I think actually, if you want a safe, steady return, then investing in property is a very smart thing to do. But you might say, well, hang on, Simon, what if I don't have that big 25% deposit? So there are two things you need to understand. First of all, most people run out of their own money at some point. And so what we as successful investors do, we don't always use our money. If we can find really good property deals, there are people out there who have money, who maybe don't have the knowledge or the time or the inclination to find those great deals, and then we could work with those people. So as long as you've got the knowledge and the time and the ability to get out and find great deals, you could take those to people who've got money and they could potentially fund those deals for you. Now, how do you find those people with money? You might be surprised, but some people you already know might have money sitting in the bank doing nothing for them. Now, the thing is, in the UK, most people don't talk about what they have because we're a bit shy and it's not seen as etiquette. It's a bit uncouth if you talk about what you have. So there might be someone you know who's got money in the bank. You just don't know they've got money in the bank. Now, why would they lend to you? Well, the point is, once you know how to find great deals that make lots of money, you can help other people make money. And who doesn't want to make money, right? So it's not about them just helping you for the benefit of you. They can help you because you can help them to make money. So using other people's money where there's money is required, that's one of the things you can do if you don't have a lot of your own money. The second thing to be aware of is that not all property deals require a big 25% deposit. There are a number of strategies such as rent to rent, as purchase lease options, where you don't actually buy the property, but you control the property and make cash flow from it. This all comes down to education, you understanding exactly what are these strategies. I've got lots of free videos on this YouTube channel all about these strategies. So if you're not a subscriber, I highly recommend you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Click the bell icon to make sure you get notified anytime a new video comes up. We do a couple of videos every single week, so make sure you watch those because I'm going to share with you lots of great strategies that you can use moving forward to become a more successful investor. So in theory, you need a lot of money for property, not so much money for crypto. In practice, actually, you could do both of them using not a lot of money in the first place. Let's talk about now the growth potential, and let's also talk about risk. So you can buy a cryptocurrency Some of them, and personally, I'm not making any recommendations here, but there are 1 or 2 cryptocurrencies I do invest in. And I think when you invest in crypto, thinking about risk, you've got to recognize that crypto is potentially high growth, but it's also high risk. You should probably have a small proportion of your portfolio in something like crypto where you're prepared to risk that money. It might only be 5 or 10% of your entire portfolio value. So if it all goes wrong, it's not going to wipe you out. It's not going to be a problem. Whereas property, there's a lot less risk with property. Now, obviously, you need to know what you're doing. Sometimes people do lose money in property because people don't bother educating themselves. They think, well, how hard can it be to buy a property? Any idiot can buy a property, and many idiots do buy property. And instead of educating themselves, instead of paying for education, people pay by making expensive mistakes. So please be aware, if you don't know what you're doing, you absolutely can lose money in property. But once you know what you're doing, you're buying a genuine asset, an asset which is very unlikely to go to zero. Because even if the building burnt down, and by the way, you have insurance in case that ever happens, the land value also has an intrinsic value. So there's a lot less risk when you know what you're doing investing in property. And that's why if you go to a bank and say, look, I want to buy this property, they'll sit down, they'll look at the value, they'll look at the rental income, and they'll probably lend you the money. If you went to a bank and said, I'd like to borrow some money because there's this great new cryptocurrency, it's going to go amazing, they'll probably politely kick you out the door. They're not going to lend you money. But why do you think? Because they recognize that is a high risk strategy, whereas investing in property, when you know what you're doing, is actually very, very low risk. And you might say, yeah, but the returns from crypto are so good. If you're lucky and get the good coins, yes, they can be good. But remember, many cryptocurrency goes to nothing. And there's an element of luck. Sometimes people get in, they make money, they get out, and they think they have this magic ability to make money. They then put it in something else and lose it all. So you've got to understand, huge risk in cryptocurrency. If you know what you're doing, there are some opportunities there. But in property, a lot lower risk. You can get the cash flow coming from it, and you still get capital growth. Now, listen to this. If you can find a property deal below market value by working with a motivated seller, and then you can add value to it by refurbishment and increase the value, you could then refinance it and take all the money. It's what we call the BRR strategy. You buy, you refurbish, you refinance, and then you rent. Now, imagine you get all of your money back, but you're still getting cash flow and potential capital growth from this. You're actually getting an infinite return on investment. Now, I hear about some amazing returns people get from cryptocurrency, but I haven't heard of anyone about getting an infinite return. Because property, you can get infinite return. So actually, when you know what you're doing, again, property can give you a great return. So I think in a balanced portfolio, there's definitely a space to have some cryptocurrency, as long as you know what you're doing, but it should be a very small part of your portfolio. Really, a much bigger part of your portfolio should be investing in property. And by the way, I think you should invest in other assets. You should invest in businesses. You might invest in the stock market, not one particular company, but a whole collection of companies to spread your risk. And when you want to build your wealth, diversification is really important. And you've got to think about where you are on your wealth creation journey. When you're younger, when you don't have as much, you're maybe more prepared to take risks. But as you get older and you get wealthier, your attitude to risk will change. And people with lots of money are not so interested in making more money. They want to look after and preserve the money they do have. So you've got to recognize where you are in your property journey to understand what level of risk you want to take on and what strategies you should be using to give you that level of risk. If you want to learn more about wealth creation, I am doing an event on the 18th and 19th of January called the Wealth Blueprint Summit, where we're going to talk about property and stocks and crypto and also business investing. It's a £1,000 event, 100% money back guarantee. If you don't think it's worth tens or even hundreds of thousands of pounds to you, what we're sharing within the first day, just let us know and you get your money back. However, I'm doing a live online training where I'm talking all about that, and we might even be doing a bit of a special offer on those tickets. So click on the link below this video. Come and register for that live online training with me, where I'm talking all about the different assets which you can invest in, and you can work out what should your plan be moving forward for 2025 to really grow your wealth rapidly. So click on the link below. Come and join me on that live training. If you like this video, please press like. I'd like to hear your view. Which do you think's better? Crypto, property, both, or neither? What's your view? Come and comment below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell icon to make sure you get notified anytime we bring out a new video. So come and click on the link below. Come and join me on that live online training. As ever, I encourage you to invest with knowledge, invest with skill.